You can do it, girl. I know you'll find him. I will not rest until you do.
Oh, shut up, Mr. Ashton, she muttered, glaring at the roof of the carriage.
Pardon?
Mr. Smith quirked a blonde brow. Nothing. She sighed, shaking her head over her own silliness. The straw bonnet she wore tipped precariously to the side. Now she was hearing voices. She pushed her bonnet back into place. Mad. She'd gone bloody mad. As impossible as it sometimes seemed, she would see Mr. Ashton's wishes fulfilled, thanks to Mr. Smith's assistance. Mr. Smith, who had spent the last month attempting to talk her out of such nonsense. He was practical, of course, because he was a man. Silly, silly men.
The law would protect you.
She waved her hand through the air, dismissing his ridiculous comment. And because he was a man, he forgot that the law looked unfavourably upon women, especially women who had clawed their way up the social ladder outside of their rank. It didn't matter how elegantly she spoke, it didn't matter how expensive her clothing, they all knew she did not truly belong to the ton. They could sense it, like predators sensing prey. Oh yes, the law will protect me until they uncover the truth, until they twist reality to get what they want. You know as well as I that women have very little control over their lives and circumstances. I must be extremely careful. 'Tis not merely my future at stake, Mr. Smith, but the children as well. He frowned because he knew she had won. Elizabeth hid her grin. Obviously flustered, he picked up his brown gloves from the fine leather seat, focusing on the mundane task. When she'd first met him, a scrawny man full of mistrust, she'd noticed his hands, first and foremost, elegance amongst the poverty. Now, to look at Mr. Smith, one wouldn't have a clue that Mr. Ashton had found him in the jails of York, awaiting the noose. And you think he, this man, will do any better in the courts? She smoothed down the skirts of her dark blue gingham gown. She'd worn a common day dress, hoping to blend in as much as one could in a den of sin. I pray it won't come to that. He sighed, pulling on his gloves with jerky, frustrated movements. Do cheer up, Mr. Smith. He and I will both settle into future bliss, and all shall be well, you'll see. She could tell the man was trying very, very hard not to roll his eyes at her naivete. The realization almost made her laugh out loud, and it had been so long since she'd truly laughed. But dear Mr. Smith was a decent chap, his dry humour and rational mind always good for a chuckle, and she'd seen so little of him since Mr. Ashton had died. The carriage slowed as it rolled through massive iron gates that would certainly impress the neighbouring countryside. Elizabeth leaned forward and pulled back the curtain once more. From where she sat, she could see the west wing of the home. No, not a home. An estate. Good Lord, she whispered, her eyes going wide. I never imagined. Mr. Smith nodded wisely.
The woman is quite preposterous. Amazing what people will pay for.
She let the curtain fall back into place, too nervous to look further. Although the day was pleasant, she felt overly warm. Gads, Mr. Smith, are you saying 'tis well and good for a man to pay for his jollies, but not for a woman? He flushed, and she couldn't help but laugh out loud this time. How good it was to be herself in front of him, but not just him, Mr. Ashton as well. He hadn't minded her lower-class accent, had laughed himself when lying upon his sick-bed the night of his death. He'd been a good, good man, but he'd had this one demon hanging over his head. She would right his wrong, if it were the last thing she did. She owed him, after all. He had saved her life. "What is that smell?" she questioned. At some point, the scent of rotting carcass had given way to the strong scent of
lavender.
Mr. Smith replied dryly. No, Elizabeth gasped. I won't believe it. 'Twould be too much. Mr. Smith's eyes sparkled with amusement.
Oh, but it is.
Blimey, what had she gotten herself into? The carriage drew to a stop, and Mr.